Hi guys, it's Anne here, and today's video is my fourth update for my project pan for 2023. So I am doing this in the Team Project Pan style. I did do a quarterly refresh last video, so everything was kind of newly introduced except for 2 items. So not a whole lot of progress, we're not going to see a whole lot of movement. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. So the first item I want to talk about is my setting spray. It's not the ABH Dewy Setting Mist. It is the e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist, which I put in this container. This is going a little slower than I thought. I just kind of forgot about it for a while. So that's like the only progress that I've used on this so far. Not a whole lot. And it's definitely going to be slow next month because I am going on vacation. I'm not taking this with me. So this is going to take a little longer to finish than what I would have liked, but it's okay. It'll probably, I think I might carry this over to the next quarter. I don't know. I'll see. I'll see what I'll do after that. That's future Anne's problem. So last month this was 120.26 grams. It's now 112.02 grams. That's a difference of 8.24 grams. For reference, I believe this is right. I'm trying to look at what I did for my measurements here. So I think there's like 58 grams of product that I need to actually use. It's either 58 or 37. I think it's 58. So I got a long way to go with this product. It's okay. It's not a product I would repurchase. I believe I got it in a top box potentially. I know I didn't purchase it myself or like purposely purchase it myself. Primer. So the primer that I was working on is the Saie Glowy Super Gel Lightweight Dewy Highlighter in Starlight? Star something? I can't see the name. Starglow. Close, but no cigar. You can see this is an airless pump, so this guy is like almost done. You can't even see the product, but I know that there's a little teeny tiny bit left, maybe 2 uses left, and this will be done. So I'm calling it. She's done, at least in terms of this project. I will finish it until it's empty, and it will be in my empties. I didn't mind the product itself from a texture and consistency perspective. Not really my type of product. I didn't like the scent of it. It's got like a baby powder type scent to it, so I wouldn't purchase this in a full size. It was a fine, okay product, just not a product for me. And I didn't really like it. Like, it's supposed to be like a highlighter, but I feel like it moved my foundation. It just didn't sit well on my face. It doesn't set. It was just too emollient for my preferences. So last month, this was 21.59 grams. It's now 16.97 grams. That's a difference of 4.62 grams. So because I have finished that primer, I'm rolling in a new primer, and this primer I'm going to use until it's finished. I want to finish this one up. This is the Heimish Artless Glow base. The reason why I want to use this one up until it's finished is because it has SPF in it. So yeah, I feel like it's time. I got this late 2021, so there's no date on it in terms of expiry. Oh, there is a date on here in terms of expiry. This year it expires, 2023. I think in December. It says 2023 12/01. I think that means December 1st, not January 12th. So I do want to just finish this guy up and be done with it because it has SPF in it. It's nice. It's a very nice primer. I'm looking forward to using it a little bit more. I'm curious if I'll use it just on its own, like with no foundation or not. I don't know. We're going to play with it and see how that goes. I feel like I might go through it pretty quickly because I'm just noticing I can kind of see through it, but it's not even. Because it's like down here on this side, but then up here on this side. But that's kind of helpful though, if that's somewhat accurate and I can see it moving down a little bit. What I was going to say was, I feel like I'm going to use this a little bit more than a regular primer because it has the SPF in it, and I'm going to use it a little bit more like an SPF on my trip. So I'll probably go through it a little quicker than a regular primer. I'll probably go through it fairly quickly anyway. I sometimes go through primers fairly quickly. So that's the new primer that I'm rolling in. And the foundation that I've been working on is this guy, the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow in 203 Nude Beige. I feel like the shade is still not quite right for me. It's what I'm wearing today. I'm wearing mostly Project Pan stuff today. And yeah, I just feel like the shade's still not great for me either. It's a little, I want to say olivey, if that makes sense. It's got something, it's not yellow, which is good, but it's a little off. maybe it's just because it's maybe still slightly too deep for me right now. So like I am no tan, but you can kind of see, I feel like my face, although I didn't put this on, I put this on this morning, like, what are we at now? 10 hours ago. But I did put powder on, and I feel like it's the powder that you're seeing, and it's like I'm not quite matching very well, but I think it's the powder that's making that happen, because I did powder the crap out of my face before filming, because yeah, I just needed something to cover things up. But I do like the consistency of this. I do like the way it sits on my face. It's a nice foundation. But I just feel like the shade is still not quite right for me. So last month this was 36.51 grams. It's now 34.02 grams. That's a difference of 2.49 grams. The concealer that I'm working on is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in, what is the shade of this one? Light Ivory. I wrote down light early and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Light Ivory. This is really light. I am wearing it today and I did just touch it up before I filmed, but I feel like this is a little light for me, and this is a very, like when it's the camouflage, like it's a pretty full coverage concealer. Like I feel like I need to use like the tiniest amount, so I feel like this one might be a difficult one to actually finish. I wanted to finish this quarter. I think that might not be possible. I also can like not really ever tell, like I did put a line on it before, but I have to let it sit for like days for that to happen, and I'm just too impatient to do that, so we're just going to go by the weights instead of like a visual progress on this guy. So last month this was 29.59 grams. It's now 29.02 grams. That's a difference of 0.57 grams. So the powder that I've been using, which is supposed to be translucent, but it's still got a bit of a yellowy tinge to it, is this Pure Anada translucent, they call it matte foundation, but it's not a foundation because it's translucent, but it still has like a little bit of color. Yeah, but you can even see on my hand there, like it's a little yellow. Yeah, you can definitely see that's where that tone is coming from, is this powder. Yeah, it's definitely going off, so I'm trying to use it this quarter. I'm hoping to hit pan. I don't think I will hit pan. I don't know how deep this pan is. How deep are you? I just don't see myself hitting pan on this, so it's going to be like use it for this quarter and then lose it, and then I'll be done with it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it, but it's going off. Pure Anada is a Canadian brand, and they're like an all-natural brand. So that's why it's not lasting very long for me. But I am going to keep this packaging because this will be useful to put other single type pans in the future. So I wonder if you can buy, yeah, I think you can buy these packages. I like it. It's a nice size package. It's nice and slim. It's got the nice little mirror. I'm wondering if I'll buy packaging from them. I think you can. So last month this was 83.98 grams. It's now 82.98 grams. So that's up perfectly even 1 gram. Very suspicious, but apparently that's what I use. The bronzer that I'm working on is the Tower 28 bronzer in the shade West Coast. This had a pan already on it when I introduced it last month. I haven't taken pictures yet, so I have no idea. I'll just throw the side by side up. I have no idea if the pan is bigger. I think it is. But when I like use my brush with this, I sort of like mash the product around. So like it kind of moves around. Again, I was hoping to finish this up like in the quarter. I don't think that's possible. So what I think I will do, I'm gonna do something that I don't normally do, is when this quarter is done, I will keep going with this, but I'm gonna bring in another bronzer and be working on 2 bronzers at once, which is always difficult. I don't like to do that on the regular. I feel like this packaging also doesn't quite close. Like it's not very secure. But anyway, it's a nice little bronzer. I don't know if I would repurchase it. I have the giant NARS Laguna bronzer that's a cream bronzer, so I don't really feel like I need to buy this one again. I don't love it enough to repurchase it. I'd rather try another bronzer. Like, I know there's the Makeup by Mario bronzer that I would like to try. Yeah, there's just other ones I would like to try instead of repurchasing this one. And this one's definitely very specific. It's got a bit of a sheen to it. It's got a bit of a gold tone to it. So it definitely has like a feel, a vibe, than just being like a straight up ordinary bronzer, if that makes sense. So last month this was 38.2 grams. It's now 37.98 grams. That's a difference of 0.22 grams. Again, focusing on a cream product, I am working on the Rare Beauty Blush Stay Vulnerable Melting Blush in Nearly Neutral. No pan yet. We still have no pan. I don't even know how close I am to the pan. I can't tell. Again, hoping to hit pan on this within this quarter. That's the goal for this product. I don't think I can finish it in a quarter. I don't want to finish it in a quarter. Like, I'm not in any rush to finish it in a quarter, but hitting pan is kind of the goal. It's a nice bronzer, or a nice blush, but I do feel like the shade is a bit, like, it says nearly neutral, but I feel like it's pretty warm, and it can be very, how do I explain? Because it's not super pinky, but I feel like sometimes it doesn't go well with the rest of my makeup. Like, it says neutral, but I feel like it's not super neutral. Let me just take a shade swatch of this. Like, it's, I guess, fairly peachy pink. Like, it definitely has a bit of a stronger tone to it. It does blend out really nicely, but yeah, sometimes I feel like on my skin tone, I want something, like I'm wearing the, what do you call it? Although I kind of want a little ham on this side. Dallas blush, and I thought it looked really good. Like, my eyeshadow this morning looked a lot better. It was more like a peachy eyeshadow from the White Peach palette, and I felt like this blush kind of went better with it than this one. So yeah, I'm kind of struggling with that because I feel like a lot of the eyeshadows I've been picking are more pastel-y, peachy pink pastel-y, and this just has a bit more oomph to it, a bit more depth to the tone that I feel like it doesn't quite blend or mix with that as well, or I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling like sometimes my cheeks are like too rosy with this, but it is like a nice product. It's just maybe the tone is not what I'm looking for right now with the makeup that I've been sort of wearing on a more regular basis. I also do feel like this blush, you have to be careful because you can blend it away. Like, you kind of have to be careful when you're putting it on. It also does, I feel like, stay okay, but it doesn't last as long as some of my other cream or liquid blushes. So last month this was 41.42 grams. It's now 41.22 grams. That's a difference of 0.2 grams. The highlight that I'm working on is the Kevyn Aucoin, the Celestial Powder in Candlelight. Again, goal is to hit pan on this. Have not hit pan on this. There's definitely a dent in it. It's not going to show up in the pictures, but I can feel it, and I've been focusing now, like focusing the brush on the center, thinking about that a little bit more. I'm not drilling down. I kind of get annoyed. Rarely do I ever just sort of drill down to make a pan on something. The only time I did that was with the Essence Pure highlighter, because it's such a big highlighter. I focused on like the bottom part of the highlight to hit pan on the bottom part. But for the most part, I just use things sort of organically. But I feel like in this particular instance, if I want to see pan, I need to think about using the center of the pan a little bit more than using like all the way across. That makes sense. I'm still not really drilling down, but I'm sort of swirling in the center instead of swiping this way. I hope that makes sense. This is a nice highlight. It's fairly like ho-hum. I don't want to say ho-hum. That's not the right word. It's fairly, there's a word I'm trying to think of. Natural. That's the word I'm thinking of. Compared to some of my other highlights, it really just sort of blends in and gives like a little bit of a glow. I'm sort of putting a bit of it on my hand there. You can kind of see a little bit of that glow there in the middle. Pretty natural highlight. So I think I should be able to hit pan by the end of the quarter. So last month this was 32 grams. It's now 31.85 grams. That's a difference of 0.15 grams. The liner that I'm working on, this is one of two products that I carried over from last quarter, is the Sugar Kohl eyeliner in 01 Blackout. This is a little nub. I'm sure the picture is going to show that it's like a little nub now. I think I will finish this, I would say early June, maybe to mid-June at the most, but this will be done definitely before the end of the quarter, and I will roll in a new eyeliner when that happens. I really enjoyed this eyeliner. I definitely would repurchase this again. I'm curious about this brand. I need to like make a note somewhere because I know I get like squirrel and will totally forget about this brand and try other eyeliners instead. But I do want to repurchase this eyeliner, and I want to try some other products from this brand potentially. So last month, and this one that was like, I know it's changed, but the weight hasn't changed. So it was, I feel like it was 4.84 grams, and it's still 4.84 grams. So no weight change, but there's definitely a visual change on this guy. The mascara that I've been working on is the Covergirl Exhibitionist Strength and Stretching, is that what it says? Stretch and Strengthening Mascara in, I think it's like Berry Black. It's fine. I don't mind this mascara. It's okay. It's probably one of the ones I like a little bit better in my collection right now. considering I haven't opened my L'Oreal Lash Paradise. This one kind of is an in-between. It's closer to that sort of volumizing L'Oreal Lash Paradise without being quite as volumizing, but more volumizing than a lot of the other mascaras I have right now. So I don't mind using this. I do like grab for it and use it fairly consistency. I wouldn't repurchase this one though. I just don't like it enough to repurchase. I think this one does have like how it has the strength and stretch and strengthening. I think it does have like some things in it that are like good for your eyelashes. I haven't really noticed anything yet, like any difference. Last month this was 19.1 grams. It's now 18.77 grams. That's a difference of 0.33 grams. I also did throw in a lash primer into the project that I want to use for this quarter, and then this will say goodbye. I have been using it here and there. My biggest annoyance with this is because I really like to get close to my lash line, and I will put liner on the inner part of my, like a tight line. And because I get in really close with the mascara, like even the primer, I get white on my black liner. So then I have to go back over my black liner, and that just annoys me. I still haven't, I don't feel like this is worth it for me, but I know, I think, again, I said this in some other video that I have filmed at some point. I've filmed a few videos in a row right now. I think it was the Sky High primer, maybe, that I should try. But yeah, this one isn't it for me. It's just an extra step that I feel like it's not necessary for me. But I am using it, obviously not nearly as much as the regular mascara because the weight change is much less. So last month this was 19.21 grams. It's now 19.13 grams. That's a difference of 0.08 grams. So there's use, just not a whole lot. The eyebrow product that I am working on is the MacQueen My Strong Auto Eyebrow Pencil. Hard Eyebrow Pencil. Let's get the whole name in here. Hard powder in natural brown, and this guy's fine. I don't mind it. I don't love it. I don't like, it's not the product itself. I'm just not a big fan of larger, like you can see this one's like a wider. I really like a micro pencil. I feel like I have better accuracy with a micro pencil. I feel like my brows are a little bit crazy sometimes just using this pencil. It is a bit faster, but also not, because I have to think harder. But the color is fine. I like the shade on this, and like the texture and everything is fine. Small weight change on this guy, 8.38 grams last month, 8.37 grams this month. That's a difference of 0.01 grams. So a little bit of weight change. I have been measuring this in my book, and there's a little bit of change as well. The photo might not really look like much, but there's definitely a little bit of change, and I've been using it pretty regularly. And I use that in combination with this guy. I really enjoy this one. This is the NYX Thick It Stick It Brow Mascara in Taupe. Again, I'm not 100% sure if this is my like favorite, like, or this will be my favorite. It's my favorite that I have right now in terms of eyebrow gels or eyebrow mascaras. I feel like maybe I should have got a deeper shade, but now that my hair is lighter, it kind of makes sense that I'm with a lighter shade. Yeah, out of all the eyebrow gels that I've used, I really do like this one. I would repurchase this, maybe even in a different shade. So last month this was 12.57 grams. It's now 12.46 grams. That's a difference of 0.11 grams. And then the last product we have to talk about is this guy, which we won't talk a whole lot about because I'm not really using this right now, but this will finish. This will be finished in the summer. This is the Soul Body Shimmering Dry Oil in Sangria. I did use it, I think, once this past month. Like you can see, I'm like halfway or just below halfway, so it won't take much to finish this once I start really going at it. Last month it was 105.61 grams. It's now 104.63 grams. That's a difference of 0.98 grams, so almost a gram I used when I used this. And I just like I do like 2 little squirts, one leg, 2 little squirts the other leg, and then that's it. I don't use a whole lot of it when I do play with it. I don't mind it, actually. I think I like the actual oil. And there's a lot less glitter in it now, so it doesn't bother me so much. But there's still like red glitter in this, which is a little much for my tastes. Anyway, yeah, that's my Project Pan update number 4. So it's been kind of nice to I really enjoyed switching out products from last month. It kind of made this a little more exciting, a little bit fresher. The downside of that is I'm not seeing a lot of progress. Like I'm not going to be finishing a lot of products this year, if that makes sense. But yeah, and I think I said this last year, once I started doing sort of this like smaller subset of like just makeup, just one item per category, so much easier for me to focus on and to actually manage it, like from a filming perspective and from a personal, like me perspective. Anyway, I hope your projects are going well right now. If you like this video, feel free to the little thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.